So let's look at what happens in the requirements of artificial intelligence in the last 20 years. So from the year 2000, you'll see that we just started with the internet, and we are just connecting a number of people who had access to the internet at that time. And then around 2010, then we are moving to the mobile internet, that we have handsets and the mobile phones getting into affordable prices, so that more and more people can now be connected together. So obviously there is a lot more people can enjoy the intelligence that brought by the new generations of smartphones. And now we almost get into the year 2020, it's only a month's time. And now we'll see that we are getting into the age of not just people, but the things, different elements are now all connected together, though the industry, everything are now being connected. So not only are we getting people together, we are also trying to connect different elements. We have the Internet of Things. We try to make manufacturing more intelligent. Now, all these connection and improvement in services and products really depend on the bottom layer. Okay, so you could see from the satellite remote sensing processing to industry to automatic driving to intelligent medicine and also to smart finance. All these are really based on what already been mentioned by several speakers earlier, that we really need to make the chips the most basic fundamental computational element. We really need to improve their capability in order to deal with this increasing number of people, the increasing number of things that are all working together. Okay, so that is the requirement, but unfortunately, that is the bad news. And that is from many sources, we now know that the peak performance of a chip is now getting close to its peak. Okay? If you look at the computer evolution in the last 40 years, we'll see that beginning with the complex instruction set and to the reduced instruction set, there had been an improvement in the peak performance, but then by around 2005, because there is a special term called the Dannard scaling, we don't need to worry about that, but just about 2005, we could see that the improvement of computer performance has been slowing down, okay, and it's actually getting worse and worse. From doubling the performance every 3.5 years, it then becomes doubling 6 years, and now doubling 20 years. So we could see that despite this requirement of the need of improving performance to support the new AI era, the peak performance of the chips are actually slowing down. Okay, so how can we address that? Okay, now in order to address that, let us first think about a way to separate the peak performance and the achievable, the measured performance that a system can actually obtain. So we call it the chip utilization ratio. So the peak performance is based on the size of the chip and the technology of the chip, and therefore it relates to the cost of the chip. But the chip utilization ratio is simply the ratio of the actual measured performance and also over the peak performance. Okay? So in other words, if we can run